Hello, I'm the Atomic Hobbit, and I like movies. I have seen Godzilla, and all I can say is, wow. To say that the summer movie season has started with a bang is a supreme understatement. This movie not only recaptures the tone of the original, but it fixes the mistakes made in the atrocity that came out in 1998. Because the movie just came out, I am obviously, going to keep it spoiler free, even if that means I'm not very descriptive about various plot elements, but, bear with me. First of all, bravo to director Garth Edwards. Bravo. Give him a round of applause. This movie is just everything that I hoped and dreamed that it would be. It maintains the same relentless tone of the first movie. Heck, the opening credits alone are incredible and get you on the edge of your seat, and it just sets the mood of this movie, which is fearful, powerful, relentless, enormous, epic. I'm running out of adjectives here. And this tone remains throughout the entire movie. And even though you don't really see Godzilla until an hour into the movie, there's enough quick glimpses just to keep you on your toes. Cinematography is excellent, namely because you're able to actually see what's going on, which is a problem with some movies. I feel that the comparisons Edwards has been getting towards Spielberg, they're not unfounded. He captures the same majesty and grandeur and other je ne sais quoi that appears in Jurassic Park. Right now, he could probably make any other movie that he wants. I will also say the atmosphere of the movie really benefits from, knowledge on how Americans react to tragedy. Shots us are the aftermath of whatever city a monster just plowed through. I feel is evocative of 9/11 or Hurricane Katrina. The dazed looks, the confusion, the total mess of everything. In this movie, people react. Like people would react if a giant lizard came out of San Francisco Bay. Music is just so good. It provides a lot of sort of the same elements, the impending doom, the anxiety that you just feel like it needs to be displaced or else you feel like you're going to explode. Kind of in the same manner that the original movie, although I could not really catch any of the classic theme, but still it does its job. The movie keeps a good pace, and it succeeds in providing a lot of needed exposition and plot and character development in a small amount of time, which, is good because in a lot of monster movies there's a problem of we need to develop these characters, oh man, and then we need to bring in the monsters, and either A, you spend too much time in character development, which in my opinion is not too much of a problem, or a worse problem is you never develop your characters, and then you wonder why the heck you should be caring about them when they're being slowly picked off one by one. The story centers around the Brody family as they try to survive Godzilla. It namely centers on the main character is Aaron Tyler Johnson, who plays a guy named Ford Brody. He's a Navy bomb disposal specialist who's basically with the Army's efforts to, stop Godzilla because, Godzilla's loose. But the thing is, there's not only Godzilla in this movie. Godzilla is also squaring off against two giant insect-like creatures called mutos, or massive unidentified terrestrial organisms. Now, the main characters may be kind of pulled out of the bin of classic movie monsters. You have the brave soldier, the scientist who no one believes and thinks is crazy until he's vindicated, and the army commander who does not seem to understand that nuclear weapons never works against giant monsters. But, this is a giant monster movie after all. You can exist without these cliches, because sometimes they're cliches for a reason. They work as characters in these kinds of movies. Now, you may have been surprised I said that Bryan Cranston is not the main character, considering he's in all the trailers and is the one everyone's been talking to. It's quite clear within about 30 minutes in that Cranston is not central focus, and they've just been putting him and making him appear that he was central focus because he's Heisenberg. He's not the main character, but his performance is still incredible. The story is pretty straightforward and it keeps its focus. In fact, you might be surprised with the little amount of Godzilla that's in it. That reminds me, I need to talk about our monsters. I'm pleased to say Godzilla is actually Godzilla. All the elements that make Godzilla awesome are maintained. Every time the roar appears, the theater shakes. He looks like Godzilla. He moves like Godzilla. He acts like Godzilla. He is Godzilla. He is doing everything he does best in this movie, which is namely destroying buildings, causing wanton destruction to military property, and beating the living snot out of other monsters. Everything is back. His trademark elements. The roar, his tail swipe, and the atomic breath. When his dorsal spikes lit up, I was just like, the Mutos kind of have an original look, but I feel they look a bit too much like the Cloverfield monster, but that's just me. They still look like original enough for you to be able to, tell the difference between the two, but it's just my opinion. Also, like, the creatures in the movie have sort of the same elements that consisted of kaiju in other Japanese films, namely that they are unleashed because of human stupidity and arrogance, and, now we have to live with our consequences. And it also has the Lovecraftian element of, like, giant beings from older than time who consider us nothing more than ants. Fights are so brutal. No one is pulling their punches. It is just total monsters beating the living snot out of each other, and it is glorious. Now, I will be lying if I say this movie is perfect. There are a small amount of problems. And really, two of them relate to, a bit of the dumb soldier kind of characters that appear. I'm kind of sick and tired of in movies when, like, a soldier's like, we're coming Outpost B, come in, and from the radio you hear, like, screaming explosions. People are like, come in Outpost B, it's not coming in clear, it sounds like you're dying, can you confirm that, sir? Oh my god, I'm being killed by giant monsters! I'm sorry, if, I'm pretty sure, military training teaches you that if you hear that on a radio, that probably means things are not good, but, I'm not in the military, probably because I'm too fat, and also, terrified of dying. Also kind of getting tired in movies of, people not noticing giant holes in major military installations. Like, I'm pretty sure, like where we dump our nuclear waste, they have perimeter patrols that will, like, call in if there's a hole in, the facility made by a giant monster. Like, that stuff kind of has to be noticed, considering, the things are, like, ground-shakingly large. Now, the only real problem I have with the movie is there's not enough Cranston. And, like, again, they clearly capitalized on his presence, because they needed credibility for the project. That, especially in America, it's kind of a lot more difficult to get credibility for a Godzilla film. And a good way to do it is to say, hey, we got Heisenberg. Like, what's more credible than that? And that's true, and, there's just not enough of him. I guess there could be a little bit more time for character development. You get enough across, but again, maybe it's just me, but I just wanted more Heisenberg. Now, to sum up all my sentiments into one sentence, see this movie at your earliest convenience. It broke the awesome scale, in my opinion. It's everything I've been wanting. Fans will be left and leave the theater happy. The only people I can't recommend this movie to are simply people who don't want to see or don't like movies with giant monsters in them. Like, I can't recommend this movie enough. See the movie ASAP. I'm the Atomic Hobbit, and I like movies.